Hello, audio fans and music listeners. I am Gavin, your host here at the Audiophile Wannabe Show. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's video will be a little bit short. We're going to do something fairly simple, which is take our set of Rocket 33 cables, speaker cables by Audioquest, and we're going to change out the Spade connectors and put on the Suregrip 300 banana connectors. This is a pretty straightforward process, so we'll show you the connectors right there. Those are the Spade connectors on the Rocket 33s. So those are really good connectors. They're very robust, very sturdy. As you can see, there are 4 set screws, and really that's all you had to do, all that's necessary to replace the connectors. The kit comes with this handy little Allen wrench that they provided with the new banana connectors to remove the set screws, and then basically they just come right off. And that's the box right there for the Suregrip 300 banana connector replacements by Audioquest. And that's a really nice box too, for whatever it's worth. Audioquest does provide some really nice packaging for their products. And right here you can see what comes in the box once the plastic sleeve, I'll just say that, is pulled out. You can see the 2 red connectors and the black connectors on the bottom, and the Allen wrench there in the middle. Also, let me show you this real quick. I've still got these right here. This is a little set of, well, on this side it's got 4 little, I don't know if you can see them there, but the light's kind of bright, but there's 4 additional set screws, I guess, in case you lose one. They're pretty easy they're very small, so it may be easy to lose some. And then also there's some stickers to where you can do some labeling if you would like to do that as well. That was inside the packaging. And then after removing the set screws, again, the Spade connector ends, you can see one of the red ones right there to the top right, or just above, slightly to the right. That was removed. The set screws loosen the set screws, and basically the Spade connectors just popped right off. No big deal. So after putting the new banana connectors on, this is what they look like. I will say I ran into initially what I thought was kind of an issue, but it wound up not really being an issue. But you can see, if you look above that red banana connector, above the red plastic on the black jacket, you can see that little indentation. So I was not able to get the banana connectors to move up the jacket to the position that the Spade connectors were on. So in trying to do a little troubleshooting and understand what was going on, I discovered this, and I'll just try to show you this best I can. Okay, that there was actually a difference in the length of the barrel inside the plastic housing. So if you see the connector on the right, you can see where and these are beryllium copper connectors, so I don't know if the metal part that we're looking at on the inside, I'm assuming that's still beryllium copper, so I'll just go with that for now. But that portion of the inside of the connector is a little bit longer, so basically it just wouldn't allow the connector to go all the way up to its original position. However, the wires seem to connect just fine, and testing them afterwards, they sounded just fine. So they were very snug as a bug in a rug, and I don't really see an issue with that. It just kind of wigged me out at first when I was putting them on there trying to understand what the heck was going on. And just one more photo for now. You can see the basically, I wouldn't say before and after, but you can see the Spades that were on there before and the banana plugs that are on there afterwards. So very simple project, super easy to do. The folks at Audioquest are great to work with. Wind up getting these banana connectors from Upscale Audio. Those folks are wonderful to deal with as well. So just wanted to show you guys that. And again, that's really all it took to get the new banana connectors on the Rocket 33 cables. Super easy. Okay, so now that we've got the banana connectors installed and we talked about that briefly, want to discuss my initial response so far listening to the Rocket 33 cables and the GR Research cables in the main listening rooms. You know, initially I listened to both sets of these cables in this room, basically a vintage system minus the Cambridge CXN V2, but there was a noticeable difference between the cables, and the Audioquest cables tended to have a bit more noticeable spatial airiness to them, and on some songs maybe just a slight bit of smearing or muddiness. And my suspicion was that in this room, because there's a lack of room treatment, it's just sort of a long, narrow room, that that the differences that I was hearing were probably more so due to the room than the system itself. So going to the main listening room today, basically those hunches were confirmed. The dampening in that room, since that room is treated, definitely toned down the smearing. It was a very small amount that I was hearing in here, but in the main listening room, both sets of cables were very articulate, and there was still a difference with the Rocket 33 cables having more airiness, and they do tend to be just a bit brighter and more open in the mid-range and high ends than the GR Research cables. And the GR Research cables also did tend to have, I think, a better bass response, a little bit more low end. Both were equally refined in that regard, as all throughout the frequency range. But whereas the Audioquest cables are a little bit brighter and more open sounding in the mid-range to high end, the GR Research cables are more full-bodied and warm, have a little bit more punch, I think, on the low end. So still, the jury is out as far as just my own preference. There does seem to be pros, just not really cons, but just differences in that the way that they sound. And so still, I'll be doing a bit of listening probably for the next few days, trying to make a determination as far as if I even have a preference, because it sounds like so far maybe they would just be better suited for certain types of music. But both sets of cables sound great. Still, this is just an initial response to listening to them in the main listening room. So once I have a better idea as far as how they sound after doing some more listening, I'll be sure and respond back on that. But just wanted to give you guys some initial information on how they sounded in the main listening room, as well as showing you guys just the replacement of the banana plugs in place of the Spade connectors. So that's about it, but thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've made it this far and you enjoy the content, hope you don't mind clicking that like button and subscribing to the channel, as that will certainly help the channel grow. But again, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your day. Take care.